Has your teen ever had these sorts of thoughts? The thoughts that I've basically come across a little bit today. I've just got out from working with a school today, and I ended up having a chat with one girl, and she was just like, it wasn't a big deal. She was just like, oh, I'm just a kind of BC kind of student, or, had that sort of idea that, oh yeah, look, for me, I'm just not that great with exams. Like, I do well in my coursework, I do well in my assignments, but I have to really work hard on those because I know that I'm not good with exams. And how many of us have these sorts of thoughts about ourselves and beliefs about how things are for us and what the influence that has on our results? Because the truth is, with the right training, that student absolutely could get immensely better in her performance in exams. And she could be a much better student than maybe a B or a C grade that she's just been consistently getting. That's where these thoughts come from. It's just that this is her history of getting those grades in those subjects. And I know that this can change. I had a bit of a chat with her about things and just helped her out with a few strategies and tips and things, but it just got me thinking a little bit further, because I've got so many examples of success stories with students where this has turned around. So ones off the top of my head would be a student like Jess. So she was a BC grade student, but she worked so hard and she still wasn't able to get higher grades than that. So her belief was, well, okay, I'm just sort of a BC kind of student. And her mum kind of always knew that she was like, I know she can do better than this, but we just don't know really how or what else she should be doing. She's already working really hard. I don't want her to work any harder. So once she came on board with me, she went through the 10-week grade transformation program. She's been through my right and A grader training, and she works with me personally. And Jess is now consistently getting A grades. And what we're actually doing now is working on ways for her to do that in a much more efficient manner. Like, Jess, bless her, she writes out her notes in full. I'm trying to get her to condense things down and actually do things a little more strategically. Josh, he was sort of scraping by with C's in his sort of year 9 year level. And again, his parents got in touch and he's done a lot of my training. I worked with him specifically on his assignments and essay writing because he really wanted to do subjects like ancient history, which is pretty, writing heavy, lots of long inquiry tasks, huge essays in exams. And that wasn't his strength, but he loved the subject and he really wanted to do it. And as his mum said, he could tell you all about the subject, but when it came to running it down or putting it in an assessment or exam, he really struggled. And Josh went from scraping by with C's just to getting an A- in his year 12 ancient history inquiry assessment, and which is like this huge many thousand word assessment. And he actually got a straight A in his most recent year 12 English. So another student, Tara, she was already getting very good grades. She was sort of disappointed if she got a B+. But what her parents wanted was her to be able to get those grades without the struggle. So her belief was, it just takes me forever to get a project or an essay written. Like, I kind of have to do many drafts, like many drafts. And her parents were sort of getting a little bit concerned because everything was taking her such a long time, even though she was getting those good grades. Now she's getting down to doing, getting on track right from the start with her plan. Planning is such a big thing. You've heard me talk about that before, I'm sure. And being really strategic in her choices about what she's doing and where she's going with it. Getting it down to one main draft and then a final write. And not only is she now still getting those consistent grades, they've actually crept up even higher. Crept up even higher. So she's now getting A's and even A+ consistently. So I just want to tell you that this is possible, and any of those thoughts and beliefs that are happening for you or your teen, we can definitely do something about those. If you haven't already registered for a webinar that I have coming up this week on Tuesday, then you're really welcome to do so. I'm going to be sharing a lot more information about these sort of strategies and an opportunity to work with me personally and other elements of my training. So head over there. I'll put a link in the description with this video. And until next week, let's make this a fantastic week.